The space station hung like a glittering jewel above the blue and green swirl of Exoria Prime. Ships of all shapes and sizes docked along its vast rings, and the corridors bustled with aliens of every species imaginable. Captain Aaron Rell stepped out of his small transport shuttle and took a deep breath, adjusting the strap of his Earth-standard flight pack. Even after years of interstellar travel, the hum of the station still amazed him. Aaron's mission today was simple, or so he thought. He needed to check in at the station, refill supplies, and pick up a few star maps for his next exploration run. His Earth ID was standard issue, a small glowing rectangle with his name, origin, and rank. In most sectors, a human captain was unusual, but not rare enough to cause a stir. As Aaron walked toward the docking control, a sudden voice cut through the chatter. "He's real." "The one from my dreams." Aaron froze mid-step. The voice had come from a young alien woman standing near the docking gates. Her skin shimmered like molten silver, her eyes wide with a mix of shock and awe. She had thin, delicate limbs and wore a simple tunic with symbols that seemed to glow faintly in the station's light. Aaron blinked. "Excuse me?" he asked cautiously. The alien's gaze did not waver. "The human, he is real. The one I have seen in my dreams for years. It is him." He frowned, unsure whether to be concerned or amused. "I think you have me confused with someone else." "No," she said firmly, stepping closer. Her voice was soft yet carried a weight that made Aaron pause. "I have been searching the galaxies, waiting, watching. And now you are here. I can see it in your ID. You are the one the vision spoke of." Aaron's hand instinctively went to the small ID card clipped to his chest. He had never seen anyone react like this to it before. Curious, he extended the card. The alien leaned forward, her eyes scanning the glowing letters. She gasped, and for a moment her body trembled. "Yes," she whispered. "It is you, the human of prophecy." Aaron raised an eyebrow. "Prophecy? Look, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a captain from Earth." The alien's name tag read Lyra. She introduced herself quickly, almost nervously. "I am Lyra Thal. I study ancient visions, dreams that predict events, people, even wars, and I have seen you in every detail for as long as I can remember. Your arrival was written among the stars." Aaron's brow furrowed. "Dreams that predict me? That's a lot to take in. Why would you think a random human from Earth is part of some prophecy?" Lyra's hand shook slightly as she activated a small device on her wrist. A holographic projection sprang to life, filling the space between them with glowing blue images. Figures in strange armor, massive fleets, alien cities under siege, all scenes from her dreams. Among them, a human figure appeared repeatedly. The figure had Aaron's exact features. The same brown hair, the same calm, calculating eyes, the same posture. "Look," Lyra said softly. "This is you. Every vision, every dream. You lead, you protect, you unite. And now you have arrived. It cannot be a coincidence." Aaron studied the images, his heart beginning to beat faster. They were eerily precise, not just of a person but of events he did not yet understand. The technology, the landscapes, they were alien, yet strangely familiar. He noticed symbols that seemed similar to diagrams he had seen on ancient Earth spacecraft, designs his ancestors had left behind. A chill ran down his spine. I don't know what to say," he admitted. "These images, I've never seen them before, but they look real." "They are real," Lyra said. "I have been searching the galaxy for years, guided only by these visions. I never believed I would actually find you, and yet here you are standing before me." Aaron ran a hand through his hair. "So what now? You say I'm important? That I'm part of some prophecy? I don't even know what that means." Lyra's eyes softened. "It means your presence matters more than you realize. There are forces in this galaxy, some that will help, some that will destroy, and the ones who will destroy, They are already aware of you. Before Aaron could respond, a distant alarm echoed through the station. Red lights flashed along the corridors. Lyra's expression darkened. "They know you are here," she said urgently. "The warlord. He has been searching for you for decades. He believes that controlling you will give him ultimate power." Aaron's hand instinctively went to the sidearm strapped to his hip. "I faced trouble before, but this is bigger than anything I expected." Lyra grabbed his arm. "We have to leave. Now." Aaron hesitated. "Leave? Where? This station is huge and I don't even know if I can trust anyone here." "You can trust me," Lyra said with quiet determination. "I have studied the maps, the routes, the dangers. I know how to evade them. Please come with me. I cannot do this alone." Aaron took a deep breath, weighing his options. The rational part of him screamed to stay, check in, and call for backup. But a deeper, instinctive part of him, the part that had survived countless missions and unpredictable situations, urged him to trust her. He nodded. "All right, lead the way." Lyra's eyes lit up with relief. She guided him through winding corridors, dodging crowds and security checkpoints. Along the way, she explained what she knew. The visions are old, older than most civilizations in this sector. They speak of a human who will unite scattered worlds and prevent a war that could destroy the galaxy. I did not know if you were real, but now that I see your ID, I know it is true. You are that human. Aaron listened quietly, trying to process everything. "So, you've been dreaming about me for years?" "Yes," she admitted. "And now I see that the universe has brought us together for a reason. But we must be careful. The warlord will stop at nothing to find you." They reached a small, sleek starship tucked away in a quiet docking bay. Lyra handed Aaron a datapad with coordinates. "This ship will take us to my lab. There, we can study the visions, find out more about you, and plan our next move. Are you ready?" Aaron hesitated, then nodded. "As ready as I'll ever be." The engines hummed as the ship lifted from the station. Outside the viewport, the glittering lights of the dock shrank into the distance. Aaron felt a strange thrill, a mix of fear and excitement. He had spent his life exploring the unknown, but nothing in his experience had prepared him for this. A destiny larger than himself was unfolding, and somehow he was at the center. Lyra glanced at him, her silver eyes reflecting the stars outside. "You don't know it yet," she said softly, "but your life, and the fate of the galaxy, is about to change." Aaron swallowed hard. "Then I guess it's time to see what this prophecy is all about." As the ship jumped into faster-than-light travel, Aaron stared at the swirling light outside and felt the weight of something incredible. He had always been an explorer, but now he was more than that. He was part of a story written in the stars, a story that had waited centuries to find him. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, a warlord had just realized that the human he had hunted for decades was no longer a shadow. He was real. The starship glided through the void, its hull cutting silently through the sparkling stars. Inside, Aaron Rell leaned against the console, staring at the swirling lights of faster-than-light travel outside the viewport. He could still feel the rush of disbelief from Lyra's revelation. A prophecy? Dreams that predicted him? He had faced strange worlds, hostile creatures, and even rogue AI, but nothing had prepared him for this. Lyra moved beside him, her silver, eyes bright with determination. She activated a small device on the console, and a holographic projection floated above it. Cities, alien landscapes, and glowing fleets appeared in three-dimensional detail. "These are the visions," Lyra said. "I recorded them as I dreamed them. They have guided me to you." Aaron studied the holograms carefully. "And all of these show me?" "Yes," Lyra said softly. "In every vision you are there, leading, protecting, uniting. Every detail matches your face, your build, even your movements." I did not understand it at first. How could a human from Earth appear in dreams across the galaxy? But now, I know. Aaron ran a hand through his hair. I don't know what to say. This is overwhelming. I've never felt connected to anything like this before. Not even during my missions. Lyra smiled faintly. That is because it is larger than a mission. It is the galaxy itself, and there are those who wish to control that power, those who would bring destruction if they could. Aaron frowned. You mean the warlord you mentioned? Why would he care about me? The prophecy, Lyra explained. It speaks of a human who will unite scattered civilizations. If the warlord captures or destroys that human, he could rule the galaxy without opposition. That is why he hunts you. He has been waiting decades for your arrival. Aaron's mind raced. A warlord hunting him, dreams guiding her, civilizations waiting. He had survived countless dangers, but this was unlike anything he had faced. So, what do we do? He asked quietly. Lyra gestured to the hologram. We study the visions. We learn what they show us, and we find out what part you are meant to play. Only then can we prepare for what is coming. Aaron nodded, moving closer. He examined the images carefully. There were alien cities with towering spires, fleets of sleek ships moving in perfect formation, and strange symbols that glowed faintly, like fireflies. He noticed patterns in the technology, machines and weapons that seemed familiar in structure, even though they were alien. These symbols, Aaron said slowly, they're like designs I've seen before on old Earth prototypes. How is that possible? Lyra's eyes sparkled. That is part of the mystery. Some civilizations may have known about your arrival long before you were born. Some believe Earth itself sent you indirectly through history. That is why the visions are so precise. They show events that must happen, and the human who will guide them. Aaron shook his head in disbelief. This is too much to take in. I've always believed in exploring the unknown, but this is bigger than anything I imagined. Lyra's voice softened. And yet you are here. You have the courage, the intelligence, and the heart to face it. I know it because the vision showed me you, before you were even here. For a moment, Aaron felt a strange connection to her words, as if part of him had always known he was, destined for something beyond simple exploration. The thought was exhilarating and terrifying at the same time. Tell me about the warlord, he said finally. Who is he, and what makes him so dangerous? Lyra tapped the console, and another hologram appeared. A massive figure clad in dark armor hovered above a fleet of ships. His face was obscured, but his presence radiated menace. This is Warlord Kyle, she explained. He rules the outer sectors with fear. He has conquered countless civilizations, using force and intimidation. And now he searches for you because he knows that whoever controls the prophesied human can dominate the galaxy. Aaron studied the figure. He could sense the cunning, the cruelty, and the ambition. I've faced dangerous opponents before, but he seems different. He's patient, intelligent, and ruthless. Yes, Lyra said, and he will stop at nothing. That is why we must act carefully. But we are not without hope. The visions also show allies, civilizations willing to follow you, systems willing to resist him. If we can unite them, we may stand a chance. Aaron leaned back, letting the weight of her words sink in. So this is more than just survival. It's a war for the galaxy, and somehow I am at the center of it. Not just survival, Lyra said firmly. Guidance, protection, leadership. Your decisions will shape the future. The starship traveled through empty space, and Aaron's thoughts wandered. He had always believed humans were small players in the universe, explorers and merchants, sometimes soldiers. But now he was beginning to understand that humanity's potential might be far greater. Earth had sent him here, not just to explore, but to influence events on a scale he had never imagined. Hours passed in silence, broken only by the soft hum of the engines. Lyra continued to show him visions. Wars prevented, planets saved, alliances formed. Each scene made Aaron feel more connected to the galaxy. Each image revealed how his skills, decisions, and even small actions could change the outcome of massive events. "Do you ever fear it?" Aaron asked suddenly. "Knowing that so much depends on me?" Lyra looked at him thoughtfully. "I feared it before you arrived. But now, seeing you, knowing you are real, I trust you. I have no doubt that you can do this. Fear is natural, but courage comes when you act despite it." Aaron nodded slowly. Her words resonated with him. Courage had always been part of his life, facing storms, alien creatures, and rogue star systems. But this was different. Courage now meant guiding civilizations, uniting species, and standing against a warlord who could destroy everything. Their discussion was interrupted by a soft chime from the console. A new signal had appeared, an encrypted message from an unknown sender. Lyra's eyes widened as she decrypted it. The hologram displayed a warning. "The warlord has mobilized forces. He knows the prophesied human is present. He is approaching." Aaron's heart raced. "How close is he?" "Too close," Lyra admitted. "We need to find a safe location, study the visions further, and prepare. He will not give us time to rest." Aaron took a deep breath. "Then we move fast. I've survived. Worse than this. If we stay calm and think, we can outsmart him." Lyra nodded, relief and hope flickering in her eyes. "That is why the visions led me to you. You are not just the human of prophecy. You are smart, brave, and quick. That combination is what will make the difference." The starship accelerated toward a distant system known for its hidden planets and uncharted hyperspace lanes. As they approached, Aaron studied the holographic maps Lyra had prepared. He noticed patterns in star positions, asteroid belts, and nebulae, routes that allowed them to move undetected. Earth-trained reasoning mixed with his natural intuition helped him make sense of alien navigation. "This route will keep us hidden," Aaron said, pointing to the map. "We'll avoid major patrols, and if the warlord's scouts are monitoring, they won't detect us." Lyra smiled. "Exactly. The visions showed this path, but your quick thinking sealed it." As the hours passed, Aaron began to feel a strange sense of purpose. He had always been an explorer, searching for knowledge and adventure. But now he was part of something far greater, something that required not just skill, but leadership, empathy, and trust. For the first time, Aaron realized that the dreams and visions were not just warnings. They were guidance. The galaxy itself seemed to have a plan, and he was at its center. Outside the viewport, stars blurred as the starship entered another hyperspace jump. Aaron's eyes met Lyra's. "Are you ready for what comes next?" she asked quietly. Aaron straightened, determination hardening his features. "I don't know everything that will happen, but I know this: I will face it, we will face it. And no warlord, no force will stop us from protecting what matters." Lyra nodded, her face glowing with hope. "Then let us begin. The visions have led us this far. Now we must act, or the galaxy may fall." As the ship vanished into the streaks of hyperspace, both Aaron and Lyra understood that their journey had truly begun. The dreams were real, the prophecy was real, and the stakes were higher than anything either had faced. The galaxy waited, and the human of prophecy was ready to rise. The starship sliced silently through the darkness, slipping between stars like a shadow. Aaron Rell sat at the navigation console, scanning the hyperspace lanes Lyra had plotted. His fingers moved quickly over the controls, adjusting routes, checking energy levels, and monitoring sensor readings. Lyra hovered nearby, her silver eyes scanning holographic projections that shimmered in midair. "They're following us," she said suddenly, her voice tense. She pointed to a cluster of faint signals on the sensors. "Scouts, small ships, but enough to track us if we stay on a predictable path." Aaron's jaw tightened. "How fast are they moving?" "Faster than most patrols," Lyra replied. "They are clearly after someone important, someone like you." Aaron's heart pounded. "So it's real. They really are hunting me. No coincidence, no mistake. Lyra nodded. Yes. Warlord Kale does not ignore prophecy, and now that he knows you exist in this sector, he will stop at nothing. Aaron leaned back, taking a deep breath. He had survived countless dangerous situations before, pirate raids, rogue AI attacks, and even asteroid storms, but this felt different. This was a warlord who could destroy entire worlds if left unchecked. Every decision now carried far more weight than any mission he had undertaken. Prepare for evasive maneuvers, Aaron said firmly. We can't outrun them forever, but we can use strategy and terrain. If we stay calm and think, we can shake them. Lyra smiled faintly. That is why I came to you. The visions showed this moment, and your actions will determine what happens. Next. The first wave of scouts appeared on the sensors, small, sleek ships, dark and angular. They moved in tight formation, their energy signatures glowing faintly red. Aaron guided their starship into a narrow asteroid field, weaving between massive rocks that glowed with embedded minerals. Hold steady, Aaron ordered. Don't panic. Follow my lead. Lyra's hands flew over the console, analyzing every asteroid, every gap, every possible hiding spot. This route will slow them down, she said. We can lose them if we act now. Aaron nodded and pushed the engines to their limits. The ship darted between enormous asteroids, using the gravitational pull to slingshot around corners. The scouts followed, but their formation began to falter, and soon a few collided with floating debris. Good, Aaron muttered. Keep them busy. We're not out yet, but we've gained a small advantage. The ship emerged from the asteroid field into open space. Aaron scanned the sensors, relief washing over him when he saw no immediate pursuit. But the calm was short-lived. A massive warship appeared on the edge of the sensor range, a dark silhouette against the stars bristling with weaponry. That's Kale's flagship, Lyra whispered. It's enormous. If they catch us, we won't survive long. Aaron's mind raced. He had to think fast. We can't fight that directly. We need to find a place to hide and regroup. Lyra tapped a sequence on her console. There's a planet nearby, uncharted, hidden behind a dense nebula. It is unstable, but it can shield us from their sensors. Aaron hesitated. Unstable how? Volatile magnetic fields, shifting, surface terrain, Lyra explained. But it's our best chance. Aaron nodded. Then let's go. The starship plunged into the nebula, the swirling clouds of gas and plasma distorting sensors and making navigation difficult. Aaron's experience with spacecraft controls became crucial as he guided the ship through turbulence, magnetic storms, and sudden energy surges. Lyra's guidance, drawn from her knowledge of the stars and visions, helped him avoid the most dangerous areas. Finally, the ship dropped into orbit around a rocky, cratered world. The surface was jagged and barren, but the thick atmosphere and constant storms made it nearly invisible to distant sensors. We're safe for now, Lyra said, exhaling slowly. We can study the visions and plan our next move. Aaron leaned back in his chair, trying to calm his racing heart. For now, he muttered. We can never be completely safe while Kale is out there. Lyra projected the holograms once more. We need to understand what the visions are telling us. If we can predict his moves, we can stay ahead. And if we understand your role, we can unite the civilizations before it's too late. Aaron studied the images carefully. They showed alien cities, fleets, and battles, but also symbols and devices he didn't recognize. Some were advanced, technologies that seemed impossible, yet others had structures he could relate to, using principles he had seen on Earth or in other sectors. Some of these designs, he said slowly, they're like blueprints, like someone left instructions for us to follow. If we can understand them, we might be able to outsmart Kale. Lyra nodded. Exactly. The visions are both warnings and guides. They show possible futures, but the choices we make can change the outcome. Aaron felt a new sense of responsibility settling over him. Every move, every decision could ripple across the galaxy. The fate of countless civilizations could depend on his actions and on his ability to lead. Suddenly, the ship's sensors, picked up movement near the planet's surface. Small drones, scouting devices sent by Kale's forces, were combing the area. "Not again," Aaron muttered. He quickly analyzed their patterns. "They're searching systematically. We can't stay on the surface too long. We need a decoy." Lyra's eyes lit up. "There's an abandoned mining complex in the northern hemisphere. It's partially buried. We can use it to hide the ship while sending false signals." Aaron smiled faintly. "Good thinking. Let's move." The ship descended carefully, landing near the jagged mountains surrounding the abandoned complex. Lyra activated the old systems, sending out holographic signals mimicking a ship's presence elsewhere. The drones detected the signals and followed them, leaving the real ship undisturbed. "We've bought ourselves some time," Aaron said, letting himself relax slightly. "But Kale will not give up. He'll keep searching, and he'll get more aggressive." Lyra nodded. "We need to prepare. Study the visions, understand the patterns, and plan our alliances. If we can unite the civilizations before he finds us again, we have a chance." Aaron looked out at the barren world, the storms raging across its surface. "It's strange," he said quietly. "I've traveled so many systems, seen so many worlds, but I've never felt this responsibility. It's bigger than exploration, it's bigger than me." "And yet," Lyra said softly, "you are ready. The visions showed me that. Courage, intelligence, empathy, they all define you. That is why you were chosen." Aaron nodded, letting her words sink in. He had always thought of himself as a lone explorer, a captain navigating unknown space, but now he was part of something greater, something that demanded leadership, courage, and wisdom. For hours they studied the visions, planning possible routes, identifying allies, and preparing for Kyle's inevitable attack. The holograms showed patterns in his fleet movements, weaknesses in their formations, and possible strategies to unite civilizations. Aaron realized that his Earth-honed skills, logic, engineering, tactics, could now save entire planets, entire species. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up an unusual energy spike near the planet's equator. Lyra's eyes widened. "That's not a normal energy fluctuation. Something is approaching, fast." Aaron jumped into action. "Get us ready for takeoff. Whatever it is, we'll face it together." The starship rose from the planet's surface, engines glowing, as the source of the energy spike became visible. A sleek, advanced craft, faster than any scout they had seen before. It moved with precision, clearly designed for one purpose: intercepting them. Lyra's hand hovered over her console. "It's Kale's personal guard. They are relentless." Aaron's heart pounded. He gripped the controls, focusing every thought on strategy and reaction. "We've survived worse. We will survive this." As the craft closed in, the first shots fired. The void of space became a dangerous dance of light and energy. Aaron's instincts guided the ship, dodging and weaving through fire while Lyra calculated their safest paths. For the first time, Aaron truly understood what the visions meant. The warlord's forces were not just a threat, they were a test. Every move, every choice mattered. And if they could survive, if they could outthink and outmaneuver their pursuers, the galaxy might have a chance. The pursuit had begun, and Aaron Rell, the human of prophecy, was ready. The starship glided silently over the surface of an ancient, hidden planet. Craggy mountains and crystalline plains stretched as far as the eye could see, bathed in the pale glow of twin suns. Aaron Rell and Lyra Thal stared out from the cockpit, both sensing the significance of the place. This was no ordinary planet. It was the home of the Council of Light, an interstellar assembly that had waited centuries for the arrival of the prophesied human. Lyra guided the ship through the thin atmosphere, weaving carefully between crystal spires that jutted from the surface. "The Council's chamber is beneath the central plateau," she explained. "Only a few know its exact location. It is protected by ancient technology, some of it older than even the oldest civilizations." Aaron nodded. his hand resting on the console. I've faced tricky landings before, but this is different. There's a weight to this place, like it's aware of who we are. Lyra smiled faintly. You are correct. The planet senses the arrival of those who carry great responsibility. It will test you just as the Council will. As the ship touched down on a flat expanse of crystalline terrain, a soft vibration ran through the floor. The crystals emitted a gentle hum, resonating with a strange energy that Aaron could feel in his chest. The ship's engines powered down, leaving only the quiet murmur of the planet's natural energy. Stay close, Lyra said, leading the way toward a massive, arched entrance carved directly into the rock. Symbols of light shimmered along the walls, ancient glyphs that seemed to pulse in response to their presence. Aaron's mind raced as he tried to decipher them, noticing patterns reminiscent of Earth's early mathematical concepts. The entrance opened into a vast chamber, illuminated by floating spheres of light. At its center stood the Council of Light, a gathering of beings from different species, each radiating wisdom and power. Their eyes, glowing softly, seemed to peer directly into Aaron's thoughts. Welcome, human, a voice intoned. It was melodic, yet carried authority. We have awaited your arrival. Aaron bowed slightly, feeling a mixture of respect and awe. I am honored to be here, he said. But I must admit I do not yet understand the full meaning of the prophecy or my role in it. A tall, golden-skinned being stepped forward. You have seen visions and you have heard the words of our ally. Yet understanding comes not from observation alone, but from action. The Council will test you, for the galaxy depends on your courage, wisdom, and heart. Lyra placed a hand on Aaron's shoulder. They are wise. Trust them, and trust yourself. Aaron took a deep breath. I am ready. The Council members spread out, and a series of holographic trials appeared around him. The first challenge was one of logic and ingenuity. Aaron had to navigate a three-dimensional maze of energy fields, each path shifting in response to his decisions. One wrong move could collapse the path entirely. He concentrated, using reasoning and instinct together. Each step felt natural, guided by patterns his mind instinctively recognized. He moved with precision, avoiding traps and dead ends, and reached the center. A soft chime echoed through the chamber, signaling his success. The Council nodded in approval. The next challenge tested empathy and leadership. Holographic simulations presented Aaron with alien civilizations in conflict, their leaders desperate and their people suffering. He had to make decisions that balanced fairness, strategy, and compassion. Aaron studied each scenario carefully. He listened to the holographic voices, weighed the consequences, and chose actions that encouraged cooperation rather than conquest. The visions shifted dynamically, testing whether he could adapt to unpredictable outcomes. Lyra observed him closely. You see, it is not enough to be clever or brave. You must understand others, build trust, and unite those who are divided. That is what the visions mean when they speak of leadership. Aaron's mind worked quickly. He realized that his experience exploring human societies, dealing with conflicts and compromises, was an advantage. He approached each simulation not just as a puzzle but as a living system, considering emotions, motivations, and long-term effects. Hours passed as he completed trial after trial. The Council's final test awaited, a confrontation with a holographic version of Warlord Kale. The simulation recreated a battle on a massive scale with fleets, cities, and populations at stake. Aaron had to develop a strategy that minimized destruction while defeating the Warlord's forces. He analyzed the scenario with careful attention. Kyle's fleet was strong, but predictable in some aspects. Using the holographic data, Aaron devised maneuvers that disrupted enemy formations, protected civilian populations, and turned the Warlord's strengths into weaknesses. The holographic Kale faltered, eventually retreating under pressure. The Council's leader spoke again. You have demonstrated intelligence, empathy, and courage. You are indeed the human of prophecy. But remember, the visions are guidance, not certainty. Kale is real, and his forces are growing. The galaxy will test you further, and your choices will shape the future. Aaron nodded solemnly. I understand. I will do my best. Lyra smiled proudly. You have done more than survive the trials. You have proven that humans can lead, adapt, and inspire, even in a galaxy filled with civilizations older than your own. The Council then shared information that would guide them forward. Ancient star maps, data on hidden civilizations, and strategies for uniting resistant species appeared in holograms. Aaron studied each carefully, absorbing knowledge that could turn the tide against Kale's forces. There are civilizations that await your guidance, one council member explained. They are scattered, wary, and in some cases hostile to outsiders. But your role is to unite them, to show that cooperation is stronger than fear. Aaron's mind raced. The task was enormous. Thousands of systems, countless species, each with their own culture and technology. But he also felt a strange confidence. He had faced impossible odds before, and with Lyra at his side, he could begin building the alliances needed to protect the galaxy. Lyra's voice was quiet, but determined. We can do this, Aaron. The visions brought you here, and the Council has given us guidance. Now it's our turn to act. Aaron nodded. Then we start immediately. Every moment counts. Kale will not wait, and the longer we delay, the more worlds will fall. The Council members watched as the human and his ally prepared to leave. Go, the golden-skinned being said. Lead with courage, wisdom, and heart. The galaxy needs you, and we believe you are capable. As their starship lifted from the crystalline surface, the twin suns casting long shadows across the plateau, Aaron felt a surge of determination. The trials had not been easy, but they had prepared him for what lay ahead. He was not just a human captain anymore. He was a leader, a symbol of hope, and a force that could unite scattered civilizations. Lyra sat beside him, her fingers brushing his as she operated the navigation controls. The next step is crucial, she said. We must find the first civilizations willing to ally with us. They will be the foundation of the coalition that can oppose Kyle. Aaron studied the star maps projected before him. Each dot represented a civilization, each line a potential route or alliance. We start with those most threatened by Kale, he decided. They have the most to gain and the most reason to trust us. As the starship jumped into hyperspace, Aaron reflected on the journey so far. Dreams had led Lyra to him. The visions had guided their choices. The Council had tested his mind, his heart, and his courage. And now, he was ready to face the real challenge, uniting civilizations against a warlord who would stop at nothing. For the first time, Aaron felt the weight of destiny, not as a burden, but as a calling. He was the human of prophecy, and the galaxy's future rested in his hands. The Council's words echoed in his mind. Lead with courage, wisdom, and heart, and Aaron knew he would. The starship soared through the darkness of space, carrying Captain Aaron Rell and Lyra Thal toward the first civilization willing to join their cause. Aaron's heart thumped with determination. The Council of Light had given them guidance. The visions had shown the possibilities, and now it was time to act. The galaxy was on the brink of chaos, and the human of prophecy was ready to lead. Lyra studied the holographic star maps, her silver eyes tracing paths between distant systems. The Zorani system is our first target, she said. They are under threat from Kale's fleets. If we can protect them and gain their trust, they will be our first allies. Aaron nodded. Good. Speed is essential. The longer Kyle attacks, the more fear spreads, and fear divides civilizations. We must unite them before it's too late. As they exited hyperspace, the Zorani system came into view. Its twin planets glowed softly, one lush with greenery, the other barren and rocky. Sensors detected signs of conflict, damaged orbital stations, scattered debris, and faint distress signals. Kale's forces had already begun their assault. Aaron's jaw tightened. We move fast, we cannot let them take more lives. Lyra activated the ship's communication systems. Zorani leaders, this is Captain Aaron Rell. We are here to assist. You? Kale's forces are approaching. We can help you defend your system, but you must trust us and follow our plan. There was a tense pause, then a crackling response. "We have heard of the human of prophecy," a voice said. "We will follow your guidance. Please, save our people." Aaron's hand gripped the console. "Prepare for coordinated maneuvers," he instructed. "We will protect your cities, guide your fleets, and drive Kale's forces back." The starship dropped into the Zorani orbit, leading the defense. Aaron directed the combined fleets, using strategies that balanced offense and protection. Alien ships moved under his guidance, forming defensive formations that shielded cities while targeting enemy vessels. Lyra monitored energy levels and provided real-time updates from her visions, predicting enemy movements with uncanny accuracy. The first clash was intense. Kyle's scouts attacked with speed and precision, but Aaron anticipated their tactics. He maneuvered the fleets to create traps, drawing enemy ships into asteroid fields and magnetic storms where their numbers counted for less. The Zorani citizens watched in awe as the human captain coordinated the defense, his calm, confident commands inspiring hope. "This is incredible," Lyra whispered. "They trust you. They see the future the visions showed them." Aaron didn't answer immediately. He focused on the battle, guiding his allies with precision, adjusting strategies, and keeping civilians safe. Slowly, the tide turned. Kyle's ships faltered, and the first wave of attacks was repelled. The Zorani leaders, impressed by his tactics and leadership, pledged full support. Their fleets joined Aaron's command, and their citizens began to rebuild, emboldened by the promise of protection and unity. "This is only the beginning," Aaron said, watching the relief on their faces. "We have to move quickly. Kyle will strike again, and more civilizations will need guidance. We must be ready." Lyra projected the next target system. The Solari cluster. They have resisted Kyle for decades but are isolated. If we show them we can defend and unite, they will join our coalition. Aaron nodded. "Then we move. Speed and coordination will be our advantage. Kale relies on fear and surprise. We rely on strategy and unity." The journey to the Solari cluster was tense but uneventful, giving Aaron and Lyra time to prepare. Aaron studied the holographic projections of Solari fleets, cities, and defenses. "We will approach carefully," he said. "We cannot force them to trust us, but we can demonstrate our capability and integrity. Actions speak louder than words." Upon arrival, the Solari initially hesitated. Their fleets were strong but defensive, and they had been betrayed before. Aaron requested a meeting with their leaders, traveling to their central planet with Lyra. The atmosphere was tense as the alien representatives regarded the human with suspicion. "I know what you fear," Aaron said calmly. "Kyle's forces are coming. I am here to help, not to dominate. Together we can defend your people, protect your worlds, and build a coalition strong enough to resist him." The leaders exchanged glances. Lyra stepped forward, showing holographic visions of past victories, alliances, and the humans' successful defense of Zorani. "These are not empty promises," she said. "We have proof that the prophesied human acts with wisdom, courage, and fairness. Follow us and we will protect you." After tense deliberation, the Solari agreed. Their fleets joined Aaron's coalition, adding strength and knowledge. For the first time, multiple civilizations were working together under a single strategy, coordinated by the human of prophecy. But Kale was not idle. His scouts detected the growing coalition and sent word to his flagship. Massive fleets began to converge, intent on crushing any opposition. Aaron knew the ultimate confrontation was approaching. "We will face him soon," Aaron said quietly to Lyra. "This is what the visions prepared us for. We cannot falter now." Lyra nodded. "We've come this far because we trust each other and the guidance we have. Kyle underestimates humans and the power of unity. That is our strength." The coalition fleets gathered near a strategic point. In space, a neutral system with asteroid belts and nebulae that could serve as natural defenses. Aaron coordinated defenses, trained alien crews on new tactics, and prepared contingency plans. Every step reflected lessons from Earth strategy, alien technology, and insights from Lyra's visions. Finally, the moment came. Kale's massive fleet appeared on sensors, dark and imposing. Energy beams flared, signaling the start of a massive confrontation. Aaron's heart pounded. He had trained for battles, faced impossible odds, but nothing compared to this. The warlord whose ambitions could destroy countless worlds. Steady, Aaron commanded. Remember your training, follow the plan and act together. Fear will break them. Unity will strengthen us. The battle began with a clash of fleets. Kale's ships fired relentlessly, but Aaron's coalition used terrain, formations, and predictive tactics to counter every move. Asteroids became shields, nebulae masked their approach, and careful coordination minimized civilian and collateral damage. Aaron guided attacks with precision, targeting weak points in Kale's formations while ensuring the coalition remained protected. Lyra monitored the flow of the battle, using her visions to predict Kale's strategy moments before it happened. The warlord's forces began to falter, unable to adapt to the coordinated, unpredictable maneuvers of the unified coalition. Kale himself appeared near the center of the battlefield, a massive warship radiating power and menace. His voice echoed through sensors, taunting the human. You think you can oppose me? You are a single human, fragile, insignificant. Aaron's fingers tightened on the controls. I am not alone, he said, his voice steady. I lead a coalition united by trust, courage, and hope. You cannot defeat what is united. The final confrontation was intense. Aaron led a daring maneuver, luring Kale's flagship into a trap formed by allied fleets and natural obstacles. Energy beams crisscrossed the void, explosions lit the darkness, and ships danced through fire and debris. Kale's fleet was powerful, but unity and strategy overcame brute force. At the critical moment, Aaron exploited a flaw in Kale's design, a predictive pattern in his attacks that even the warlord had overlooked. Using precise timing and coordinated strikes, Kale's flagship was forced to retreat, followed by the remnants of his fleet. The coalition cheered as the immediate threat receded. The galaxy had seen the human of prophecy act not just with skill, but with vision, courage, and heart. Civilizations that had been divided were now united, and hope spread like a light across the stars. Aaron turned to Lyra, a weary but triumphant smile on his face. We did it, he said softly. The first step. The galaxy is safer today because we acted together. Lyra nodded, her eyes shining. And this is only the beginning. We've shown them the strength of unity, the potential of cooperation. Kale may regroup, but he will never have the same advantage again. Aaron looked out at the stars, feeling a sense of purpose unlike anything before. Humans were small compared to many galactic civilizations, but this moment proved that courage, intelligence, and trust could change the course of history. He had been guided by dreams, visions, and prophecy, but it was his actions and the strength of alliances that had made victory possible. The galaxy was far from fully united, but a foundation had been laid. Aaron and Lyra would continue to travel from system to system, forging alliances, protecting worlds, and preparing for any threat that might arise. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, not through domination, but through leadership, courage, and cooperation. As their starship jumped into hyperspace, Aaron placed a hand on the console and whispered to himself, "This is just the beginning. The galaxy is ours to protect, to guide, and to inspire, and I will not fail it." Lyra smiled beside him. Together we will shape the future, and humanity will be remembered as a force for hope and unity across the galaxy and beyond. Outside, the viewport, stars streaked past in a blur, carrying the promise of new adventures, new alliances, and new challenges. The human of prophecy had risen, and the galaxy would never be the same again.